Okay, we are live and in color. Remember when that used to be a big deal?
Yes.
Back when we were kids?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we were probably, what, young kids, elementary school kids.
But for some reason, it makes me want to find a sock and hit you over the head with it and say, homie, don't play that. You remember that? Wham! Homie, don't play that.
Mark, Mary.
What's up, guys?
What's going on? Mark and Mary in the house. Mark and Mary's in the house.
Seriously, you gonna sing to everything?
Why not? I'm in a singing kind of mood.
Hello, Terry. Got a notification?
Terry's in the house. Terry's in the house. Kitty's in the house.
What's up?
Kitty's in. Hey, you know what, baby? I just want to tell you something.
You're about to be a cheese ball.
I'm hooked on you.
Not quite. He's a singer. Listen to him roar. 43 minutes late.
I told you I was working on something. Yeah? But you know what?
Susan Lang, that's a new name.
I might be 43 minutes late, but I just didn't invite somebody brand new to come over and have homemade spaghetti with homemade spaghetti sauce.
Just saying.
Just saying. Sup, pickers? Dustin Dean in the house. Hello, Miss Susan Lang.
Hello.
Duncan 1900 Homestead. Mama Donna in the house. So we're gonna give everybody a few minutes to come in here. So while we're waiting on everybody, knock knock.
Who there?
Interrupting cow.
Interrupting cow. David, it's been a while since I've been on. Glad to be back. Very cool.
Hey,
Hay is for horses.
why do cows wear bells?
I don't know.
Because their horns don't work.
Talk to you later. Gotta go. Oh, so she was playing hooky for a second.
Hope you enjoy that spaghetti sauce. My garden just got stripped hard by hail last night.
Oh.
Man, that stinks. I am so sorry, Mark.
Wait, Mark. Oh, that stinks. He was just posting pictures about how great everything was in his garden. Oh, I hate that.
Do I have to take that away from you?
No, I was just sending something to somebody real quick.
To who?
Oh, Lonely Prepper. Because he doesn't ever get our notifications. Took all my old watches and strapped them together.
That joke was like a circle.
It was pointless. That's Shakara, I think. Stopping by to say hi really quick, off to do chores.
Shakara or Chakra?
Shakara.
Chakra.
No. I'm in Minneapolis last thunderstorm. Just got done grilling some steaks. Yum.
What were some of those other cow jokes that we laughed so hard at? Remember?
Lean beef and ground beef.
No, the ones from the thing that we were going to do with the other thing. See, you're so crazy.
It's been so long ago.
You're so crazy. So, how is everybody? Ground beef. How is everybody doing tonight?
It's been a rough day today.
No, it wasn't rough. It was exciting.
It was.
It was
tiring.
Rejuvenating.
Tiring. I'm tired. It's been stressful for me.
Oh. Hey, so, I should have titled this, instead of Saturday Night with Big Bear Homestead, I should have titled it that you and I are quitting.
Okay. Sure, we're quitting. What are we quitting again?
Don't be foolish. Don't be foolish. So, that's one of the main. We got. I mean, this is a big thing, y'all, and it's gonna be rough, and it's going to test us, and it's really frustrating already.
Come on.
Because you're acting like you don't know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
Okay, I was gonna say, because that's probably the whole reason why we're quitting.
What are you doing?
Where were you on the night of the 8th?
8th of
The 8th.
of
8th.
month. You're not the only one waiting for whatchamacallit to get here. Uh-huh. I can't read your writing. No, I know, but I don't remember that. Are you just using that for the overall thing?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
All by myself, I have conversations
Quitting?
all
What
by
are we quitting?
myself. So that's one of the major announcements that Robin and I have. We're calling it quits. We're done. Flammo. Kaput. Kapooey. It's a big axe.
Sayonara.
Sayonara. Hasta la vista.
I'll be just saying.
Sawadee ka.
Adios. Au revoir.
See you later, alligator.
All right.
Done. Over. Kaput. Done with it. But we're going to get into that later. We got a new exciting segment on the show that we're going to be introducing here in a few minutes.
Animation's already bit.
Super excited about this new segment.
Mm-hmm.
And so, what else are we going to be talking about tonight? We're going to have a sustainable project. I got it. Oh, I got this, girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
And then shameless plugs for the Homestead of America conference and our stuff.
Of course. But I mean, it's our live stream.
It's our
so.
live stream, so we can.
Hello,
What's
hello,
up, Floyd?
I saw Niana there.
Floyd
earlier.
in the house. So, if anybody's missing in this live stream, tell them to get in here now. We're going to give it a few more minutes because y'all are going to be talking about this next segment. Y'all are going to be telling folks about it, and you're going to be like, it was just
so cool.
It was the bomb.com. So, y'all are going to want to see it. You're going to love it. And when it happens, you're going to be like, yes! Don't you think?
Probably.
Probably. You're going to be like, whoop, 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 chicka, chicka, whoop, whoop. So, the world is really going crazy. We're going to talk about that a little bit tonight, too. What is up with the world? I don't know how many of y'all seen some of my posts this week, but raccoons are catching HE double hockey sticks right now. Man, they got a new intestinal worm that's making them go cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And there's outbreaks Yes, I use the word outbreak with Dustin Hoffman. Cases of distemper, Ohio, New York City, Kansas,
All over the place.
all over the free world. And if you're a homesteader, I hope you know how to deal with it. If not, better come to my class, homie. Better come to my class. Sometime. So, but before we jump into all of that, it is time. In a minute.
Been a long time for mass rabies.
It's been a while before the rabies. And see, that's the thing now. There's like 70 or 80 different strands of rabies. A lot of folks don't know that. Everybody automatically thinks rabies, Cujo. Mad dog foaming, slobbering all over the place, and just mad at the world. No. Most of the rabies viruses, when the animals get it, they just crawl off into a dark hole, lay down, and die. Now, distemper, on the other hand, that's what makes them get violent. It makes them get crazy.
That's the issue that they're having, is that they're acting like zombies.
And so, and we're going to get into why that is so dangerous for everybody. For everybody. Okay? But it's time for the new segment.
Hi, I'm Carol from the Backyard Homestead, and I will be your news anchor for the Saturday night live stream. Now today we're going to talk about how plant breeding technologies could make fruits and vegetables more exciting to eat, quick soil test aims to determine nitrogen needs, bacteria engineered to create fertilizer out of thin air, raccoons going wild and acting like zombies, woman chokes a rabid wolf to death, or what, rabid fox to death, and why it is dangerous to mess with a raccoon that has these signs of the zombies. So let's get into it. How plant breeding technologies could make fruits and vegetables more exciting to eat. Forget vegetables with dull colors and fuzzy skins, or fruits that lack in flavor. The produce aisle of the future could offer plant products that are designed for creative cooks and fuzzy eaters. In a new article, food researchers describe how new breeding technologies have the potential to enhance shape, color, size, and health benefits of produce, as well as inform conventional breeding programs. Quick soil tests aims to determine nitrogen need. One of the essential nutrients for vigorous crop production is nitrogen. Yet most routine tests done in commercial soil testing labs does not measure available nitrogen in the soil. Soil scientists, they think they have found a solution. The researchers recommend an adoption of new terms such as soil protein rather than to more accurately describe the proteins extracted through this method. This soil protein extraction procedure is a cost-effective, rapid method that could readily be adopted to commercial soil testing labs. It is possible, however, that some specific protein types may not be recovered by this method. More research on that point would be useful. We don't have many rapid ways to determine how much nitrogen a soil can provide and store over the growing season, said Coleman. This test is one way that might help us quickly measure an important pool of soil nitrogen. More work is needed to understand soil protein, but we think it has the potential to be used with other rapid measurements and assess the soil health of a farmer's field. Bacteria engineered to create fertilizer out of thin air. The next step could be nitrogen-fixing plants that can do the same, reducing the need for fertilizer. Researchers have created a bacteria that uses photosynthesis to create oxygen during the day and at the night uses nitrogen to create chlorophyll for photosynthesis. This development could lead to plants doing the same, eliminating the use of some or possibly all human-made fertilizer, which has a high environmental cost. Gene study pinpoints superbug link between people and animals. Scientists have shed light on how a major cause of human and animal diseases can jump between species by studying its genes. The findings reveal fresh insights into how new disease-causing strains of the bacteria, called Staphylococcus aureus, emerge. Experts say that the research could help improve the use of antibiotics and design better strategies for limiting the spread of disease. New Jersey woman chokes rabid fox to death. A New Jersey woman said she was forced to kill a rabid fox after the animal bit her leg and continued gnawing on her flesh despite her efforts to escape. Tammy Dubas told NewJersey.com she was checking a bird feeder near her house in Pitts Grove Township on July 8th when the fox appeared from the bushes. The vicious animal leaped onto her leg and made a noise that sounded like yip, 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 yip. I just backed up, the 52-year-old recalled to NewJersey.com. It was going crazy, making noises, and its mouth was moving. Dubas said that the fox circled around her, then sank its teeth into her right leg. It continued its attack, Dubas, despite her attempts to escape. While she was attempting to run into her house, the fox once again began biting her leg. It was just biting my leg. I had to do something, Dubas said. The New Jersey resident said she grabbed the fox's snout and sneezed its neck with her hands until the animal's body went limp. She added she usually has garden tools in the yard, but it didn't have any at the time. See, this is why I need to go to Homesteaders of America and see my dad's class. So that doesn't happen. I couldn't do anything else to get it away from me, she recalled. I don't like to kill anything. Dubas went into her house and called her husband. She was taken to the hospital and given rabies treatments for 2 weeks after the fox tested positive for rabies. I'm just so proud for my mom for reacting the way she did, Dubas's daughter Laura told the site, "I don't know what I would have done." Zombie raccoons infected with distemper reported in Ohio. Authorities in Ohio have been getting some strange calls about so-called zombie raccoons. The raccoons are infected with distemper, a virus that can kill your dog or cat, and it causes them to exhibit strange symptoms. Animal control officials say they've been seeing more zombie raccoons in the area. I think that's it, right?
And last up.
And last up.
Tell us about Central Park.
Oh. And last up, Central Park raccoons dying from canine distemper virus. Canine distemper, a virus that can be deadly in animals, has recently been spreading among Central Park raccoons. 2 have tested positive for the virus, and the Parks Department suspects that 24 other raccoons have tested positive that have recently died had also contracted the virus. The raccoons have not tested positive for rabies, and the canine distemper disease cannot be passed to humans, the city says. The canine distemper can also be contracted by dogs, but any dog that's up to date with its shots should be protected according to the City Department of Health. The Parks Department sent us the following information. 26 raccoons found in the Central Park. 13 tested negative for rabies, 9 waiting on results, 3 could not be tested due to advanced decay, 1 found Saturday, July 24th, will be sent for testing. New York City Parks Rangers reported collecting and identifying the raccoons. Most reports came to us from the employees of CPC or parks, or our wildlife partners, Wild Bird Found. Only a few came from the public. First raccoons were collected on 6/24 and 6/28. 72nd and 102nd Streets, respectively. The majority of them were found in the north of the park. Bye.
All right, and that was the news from Carol Ann. That was some awesome stuff, y'all. Good job, Carol. Everybody is absolutely wondering or praising that you done that. Carol's going to be doing that every week with us now.
Wait, what?
And
Wait, what?
and she's also, because Carol, one of the things that we did some time back was I had them write down their top 10 dream jobs. And one of Carol Ann's was being a journalist.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're going to explore that. So every Saturday she's going to be our news anchor. But she's also going to start to go out into the public with me, her brother, and she's going to pick a news story and then she's going to interview folks about it. And so we'll be able to bring those clips to you as well. Yes, this is also homeschool credit.
That's correct.
So those were some crazy news stories that she
I'm
had,
telling
wasn't it?
you, when we were going through and looking at them, like some of the things, like, you know, they're never going to leave our food alone.
Mm-mm.
You know, and this is something that has been so up underneath my skin lately. As far as everybody expecting your food to be beautiful and photo worthy, and you know, it just kills me that the idea of a tomato being good for you is because it's red. You know, it just,
gotta get over that.
I know, it just bothers me. But to see that we're actively now pursuing genome mapping, or whatever it was that they said, they're trying to mess with genetics just so that they can make the prettiest bring out the prettiest product, because that's the only way it's gonna sell, you know. And it's just crazy to me.
Somebody's jealous because I talked to Josh.
Okay.
Maria, you missed it, and you even seen us setting up for it. Oh, you missed it.
TV ads on fast food or other food products, just outrageous. Really not even worth it to eat. Yeah, that just blew my mind that they're going to be messing with, you know, even more messing with our food. That was one, and then the other one was about the staphylococcus. About that they're really starting to try and come down on cattle and sheep and goats and all of these wonderful livestock that we have, and trying to put the egg before the chicken, or chicken before the egg, whichever way you believe. They're trying to say that
the milk before the cow.
the staphylococcus that, or no, there was one about E. coli. I'm sorry. There was one about E. coli that was talking about how are we getting more E. coli because of the animals, or are the animals getting more E. coli? Like, they're trying to do a study based on that, and because of all these outbreaks of salmonella that they've had, now they're trying to blame all of the livestock for that. And some of that is true, because they're being raised in such bad conditions that when we use their fertilizer, they take... Because I will tell you, there's one crazy thing. When you start watching these documentaries about the CAFOs, they don't let anything go to waste. So when they're done with that group, all of that fecal matter gets, you know, moved around and moved into manure, and it's put on here and there and everywhere, and then the next thing you know, I have spinach with E. coli on it. You know, it's...
You almost want to be standing on the mountaintop like that cough commercial, but instead of saying "E. coli," you're going "E. coli."
Yeah, so, I mean... just some of the articles, and of course we've been hearing, because we tend to focus a lot on predator control, there's been so many news stories lately about rabid foxes and distempered raccoons, and just so many different issues.
If you were in any of the live streams that we did on the Big Bear Facebook group, or on the Facebook page, one of my old high school buddies, I worked with him, and I worked together at McDonald's. He sent me, as soon as after we got done talking about the rabies in NYC and in Ohio and Kentucky, or I'm sorry, the distemper, he sent me an article that a raccoon down in Martinez,
oh no,
might be somewhere around your neck of the woods, Jack, tested positive for rabies. And this is one of the things that at the end of every show, I say two things. I tell you guys to be nice to one another, and I encourage you strongly to recycle, repurpose, and reuse. And here's a prime example why we need to do that. And here's also another prime example. This is a perfect example of why I do not believe in relocating animals. I euthanize every animal I catch. Because I am not a wildlife biologist. I'm not up to date with the possum population in my area or in a 100-mile radius from my homestead.
Right.
I'm not up to date on the raccoon population, the coyote population, any of that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not up to date on whether or not if it's overpopulated and if it's putting a strain on the food source
Right.
for these animals.
Mm-hmm.
When you start putting a strain on their food source and then their housing areas, because they got to live too. I mean, they want to get out of the elements. They don't want to be out in the snow or the rain or the hail. They need shelter also.
Correct.
When we start adding, by relocation, you start adding more mouths to feed to the area,
Mm-hmm.
somebody's gonna starve.
Mm-hmm. Or and the other thing too is if the food supply is not good, then they're more susceptible. Like if they don't have enough to eat, they're more susceptible to getting sick.
Yes, because they're not able to build their immune system just like ours in the gut.
Right.
They're not able to withstand some stuff.
Right.
And so that is why you start to have outbreaks of distemper, outbreaks of flesh-eating bacteria, outbreak of salmonella, outbreak of this, outbreak of that in our wild animals.
Mm-hmm.
Just like it was very funny that I watched a documentary on raccoons on Netflix. And in a lot of your major cities,
Mm-hmm.
because the city has expanded so much and has taken away the wildlife habitat, well, raccoons improvise, they adapt and overcome.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they started becoming trash can raiders.
Yes.
Because, let's be honest, America, we are a disposable society.
We waste a lot of food.
We'll take one bite of a donut and throw it away if we don't like it.
Yes.
We'll take one bite of a burger, and if we start to get heartburn, we toss it in the trash.
Mm-hmm.
Well, these kids from one of the schools, they started going out there and catching these guys, popping them with a tranquilizer, pulling blood, tagging them to watch how far they travel in the city.
Oh, wow.
But here's the it's not really funny, but here's the thing. They started noticing trends of raccoons having diabetes.
Oh, my gosh.
Raccoons having high cholesterol.
Wow.
And they linked it
To the food source.
to the food source
Yeah.
because they're no longer eating the wild berries.
That's crazy. They're eating a Whopper.
Yeah.
That's
They're eating a
crazy.
Big Mac. And a lot of the coons in New York, Chicago,
Mm-hmm.
all of those, they're like 50 pounds overweight. I mean, not really 50 pounds.
Right.
But you know, they're obese raccoons.
Jeez.
And but they're also traveling
I know. Now I want one too. Break away.
more. They're traveling more miles to go to go around and get food.
So they're
But
traveling more.
but they're also developing patterns. They're learning which house. So if you eat a lot of Krispy Kreme donuts and you throw some of them out because they get stale, or they're like you're somebody who takes like 2 sips of a Coke and then it lost its carbonation for me, and you throw it out.
I don't ever throw it out, to be fair. My kids are not nearly as picky about them as I am, and so they end up drinking it to the bottom. You were so. Don't lie. Good.
The raccoons are noticing, oh, wait a minute, I feel like pizza tonight.
Uh-huh.
So they know where to go.
To go. That's crazy. They learn patterns and stuff.
They know that, you know what? Every Tuesday, Joe Schmuckatelli household, they get pizza. It's pizza night. And they usually don't eat it all.
Taco Tuesday!
So they waddle their big high cholesterol, diabetes, ring-tailed booties over there and getting their pizza. And they started noticing patterns. And they started knocking on these people's door.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, what do y'all have for dinner on every Tuesday night? Y'all have something for dinner every Tuesday night that when y'all put the trash out, it's there. And they're finding out, well, that's when we usually go out to eat. It's usually pizza, or it's Italian, or it's this or that. And they started noticing that these raccoons, they were traveling large distances, but they were going to one house. And then they were traveling back and coming over there to this house. And it was crazy.
That is crazy. I mean, it makes sense because they do the same thing with their natural environment, but it's just funny that they are anticipating human behavior, which I think is really crazy. That's
Well, instead of going, hey, I know over here I got some apples or persimmons or muscadines or blackberries. Hey, let's go over to Fred's house. It's Thursday. You know he had Mexican.
yeah.
You know? And so that's really, it's dangerous not only for the raccoons, because then they become dependent upon us. And they become dependent upon Fred having Mexican every Thursday. And when the animals start to become dependent upon you, and all of a sudden if Fred goes on a diet, and all of a sudden he starts eating tofu, you can bet the raccoons are going to be like, dude,
Tearing up your trash, trying to find that pizza.
Hey, homie, you can take this tofu stuff back inside, give us the burritos. I mean, case in point, I had a lady down in Augusta who moved into a house or a condo, and the previous owner used to feed the raccoons. She must have had every raccoon in her backyard in a 20-mile radius.
It's crazy.
And when I caught a bunch of raccoons, but she said the thing was she was okay with them being outside. She hated that she had to keep putting goldfish in her pond, but it is what it is.
Right.
She said that the turning point is when they came in the cat door, because she stopped putting the cat food outside.
She kept it inside.
So she kept it inside, and then the raccoons came inside. And raccoons can open up a refrigerator. And she said he had a Coke, and he bit the hole in it, and it looked like when she came down for breakfast that morning, he was having a Coke and reading the paper. Time for them to go. So that's crazy. Now, this segues into part of the reason why you and I are saying we're done. We're calling it quits.
Yep. I love you. You're way too easy.
You just want to dance on that one.
Yep.
Nerve.
Done with what, baby? What are we done with?
Robin and I are done with the grid. We are done.
You say the grid, but you gotta explain that.
Well,
better. Go ahead.
We are done with. I mean, when I say the grid, I'm not just talking about power, and I'm not just talking about natural gas.
Take the toilets out. I'm pooping in the woods.
Any of that. I'm talking about all of it.
Start with cable. We don't have cable.
We don't have cable. Our goal by the end of this month is to cut what we buy out in town for food-wise groceries by a third. The money that we save from that is going to get rolled in to, one, helping us get completely out of debt, and two, rolling into saving for alternative energy sources for here. One of our first main goals is by the wintertime to have a wood burning stove in the house, because we have to, because as of right now we have no way to heat our home.
Right now.
So, yes, we are going off grid.
Eventually.
But, we're not flipping the breakers tonight. It's going to be a slow process.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? But we are going to document everything with you guys.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when we reach that goal, and the reason why we're doing it in steps is because, I watched folks like Esther Emery and them, and they made 2 sets of videos, 10 things I wish we would have known before we've gone off grid.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple of other people, they said, a lot of folks said that they jumped into it with both feet and just turned off the breakers.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of them said that they didn't last that long at first. It wasn't until they started making short goals and baby stepping their way in there.
Mm-hmm.
And then they baby stepped their way into it.
He said talk some sense into Megan. That's funny.
And
Off stove.
and that's how they were able to do it. And they started with simple things. Like they cut their food bill. Or they sold just about, like Doug and Stacy sold everything and got out of debt, lived in a small apartment until they could afford to get their homestead.
Mm-hmm.
And so they done it in stages.
Mm-hmm. And that's what we're going to do. We can't just do it overnight.
Yeah.
But something's got to give, because we have learned this year that we are fully capable of providing ourselves with vegetables and fruits
Mm-hmm.
on any scale, whether it's small or large.
Yeah.
So we're going to start getting everything in line to be able to, by the end of next month's grocery bill, because we're already at the end of July,
Mm-hmm.
that we're hoping to have, which it should be fairly easy to do, because we are putting up, today alone, I was supposed to go to a class in Athens, and we looked at it, and I was like, it's going to take me an hour to get there,
Mm-hmm.
an hour back, and the class is 2 hours long. So I'm talking about 4 hours being away from here. Now, for one, 4 hours away from him, I can't handle that. No, I'm just kidding. Or am I? But 4 hours not here is that's a long time.
Yeah.
Think about all the stuff we got done today in a 4 hour period. And so, we started talking about it, and I was like,
Well, let's break it down. In 4 hours, we harvested, 4 or 5 buckets full of corn,
mm-hmm.
and we pulled the corn stalks out
to get them ready for silage.
Uh-huh. We harvested all of those cucumbers.
Yeah.
We harvested the melons.
Mm-hmm.
We weed whacked around
Cleaned up the area around the loofahs.
the loofahs and the peanuts.
Mm-hmm.
We came in here.
Mm-hmm.
We had an hour and
a half live
stream
Uh-huh.
where we, on our Facebook group, where
gloated about all of our wonderful melons.
we shared the melons. We shared how to save the seeds.
Mm-hmm.
We shared what a dragon eggs cucumber was.
Very cool, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we went back into the house, and one thing that I'm sure anybody who's been out here working in the heat knows is that after a little while, when you slow down, usually you're overcome with a little bit of exhaustion. And so we ate lunch, and then I kind of fell asleep for, maybe 20, 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And then woke back up, and then it was time to start
lunch.
we ate lunch first. And then I've been fighting a migraine all day, and so I fell asleep to try and because I had taken something to knock it out, and got back up, started mixing all the stuff for the salsa. So we got salsa in there that I still have to can once we get out of here. But we're probably going to have... I'm not doing them in quarts. I'm going to do them in pints. Because I don't want them to get wasted. If we keep it in a quart jar and somebody leaves it out on the counter or something like that, we're going to do ours in pint jars. And so I've probably got...
A shite ton.
I probably have like 8 quarts, so probably like 16 pints of
So,
salsa.
Niana asked, no AC.
Mm.
Well, see, one of the goals is, and I've been doing a lot of research with the alternative energy, we should be able to baby step into solar, wind, and hydro power.
Mm-hmm.
That, as of right now, the only time we really run the air conditioning is in the evening when we sleep.
Right.
So we should be able to store enough power in battery banks to be able to run the AC.
Right. Hopefully.
Hopefully. But if it ever gets too hot where we can't do that, because one of the first major construction projects we're going to be doing is a root cellar.
Yeah, we got to have a root cellar because so that's the thing. Up until now, we've put food away, but not in the quantity that we've done this year. And here's the thing that is a little scary to me. I have to find somebody who's got mason jars that they just got to get rid of. It is ridiculous thinking how many mason jars we're going to need because we're not even done putting up food yet with what we have out in the garden, and we're like less than 2 months away from muscadines, and when the muscadines get here, we're in trouble.
Start feeding the pigs.
So, and that's the thing is like, it's just, I don't know. Okay, so, Breakaway brings up a good point. If you Google what is the best temperature for your thermostat, during the summer, it's supposed to be 78. Mm-hmm. And the reason I know that is because at my work, they're trying to enforce the same thing. And they're losing that battle because they have at least 2 who are, I don't want to say going through the change, but we have hot flashes and 78 ain't going to cut it. So trying to get me to convince your wife about that 78, that ain't going to happen with me. It gets up to 76. I'll tell you this. If it's 76 and everything's cool, I'm good. But like right now, we were in there canning. And and it's 76, and that makes it hot. Mm-hmm. So there's some, play with some of that. Yeah. Vena's saying Craigslist or bulk buy the coupons of $3 off a case. There and hold them until then. Yeah. And again, yes, we're embrace the suck. Yeah, it does. The thing about the cans is that we had a lot. We had a lot. But how much muscadine jelly do we still have? We have like 9 gallons, I think, still, or 8 gallons. And then we put tinctures in there and, things like that. So, like, I saw something, I saw an ad, I was telling Jason about this. I saw an ad in Craigslist where somebody was getting rid of a pressure canner. Oh, look who's here. Pressure canner.
What's up, Ricky Wallace? Terry, send us a message. We'll talk.
It had a pressure canner, a bunch of cans, and then I had like the ball book and a couple of other recipe books. And so I was like, God, I wish we had $100 that I could just go, because I just know that this person is getting rid of every jar that they've got.
We need to start hitting when we get a little bit more financially secure. We need to hit auctions and estate sales.
Seems like your mom brought us some, but we used all those already.
That, or you need to ask your son where he put them.
Yeah, because I feel like we've got some somewhere, but
But, so we're focusing on our food right now. Then, as we start to, like I said, we start to get out of the debt, we're going to roll into, the very next thing that we're going to be rolling into is alternative energy. Or, I'm sorry, the root cellar.
Root cellar. Then
The root cellar, once we get the root cellar in, that is going to be a major game changer. Because we could get away with, once the root cellar is in, everybody going to the root cellar to sleep at night during the summertime to cut that power bill, because that root cellar
will stay naturally cooler.
it'll stay 50, 55, 60 degrees in there.
If we
And
get deep enough.
Right now, even with her midnight luncheons with Satan in the middle of the night, it would be cooler than what we were keeping in the house, so she should be happy. I so want to just tear my house, Teresa, I want to tear my house to the ground. I want to just blow it up and put in a hobbit house. They literally have, they're calling them earth ships or earth sheds. Well, earth ships came out first, and now they're calling these earth sheds.
I'll send you an 8-pack for a jar of muscadine chili. That's a deal. Yurts. Yeah, we've seen those too. But these are like, they're built in the ground.
They
and
literally,
then they put sod over them or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They literally are built like from the Shire. They're in, they're making hills and putting these things in the hills. And people are saving buku money.
Oh, yeah.
On heating and cooling, because the temperature of their house is pretty much staying the same because of the earth. Now, somebody said clay.
Ain't got no hills.
When we went down to visit Daniel from Go for Green Living, he built a cob house.
It was a house, 2-story.
Yes. It was a cob house. Now, he did not maintain it and didn't take care of it. It had big honking holes in it. They just started storing stuff in it. But when we were down there in the summertime last year, it was shortly after Full Spectrum moved down there. There was a good 20-degree difference from outside to inside that cob house.
And it wasn't like it was shaded any more or any less than it was. They were in the same situation as far as geography was, and so it wasn't like, the sun was beating on one of them or the other, but it was cooler in there. And the thing is they had the AC on in
the other house, and we went into the cob house, and it was cooler in the cob house than it was in their house with the AC on. Now, speaking of cob, I've been doing research on cob, and I am going to build. We got 2 little projects that are fixing to come to fruit, and we're going to be doing videos on them. We're going to be building a smokehouse out of an old side-by-side refrigerator freezer. We got some plans for it, and basically the freezer side is going to store
smoke.
The wood chips,
wood stuff,
wood chips and stuff like that. And I'm also going to put a bar in there, so that way if we want to make salami or pepperoni,
we can hang it up there.
Once we got it smoked, it can hang over there to age, and I don't have to worry about critters getting in it because I can lock it down. I can put a ratchet strap around it, lock it down. And then on the refrigerator side, that's going to be where the cold smoke happens, the actual smoker. And I got these plans from Night Ricky.
Glad y'all got to see me. I love him. He's so awesome.
I got these plans from one of the books that we recommended to y'all, the Self-Sufficiency for the 21st Century. Go on over, get to one of our Amazon links to where you get to our new store on Amazon, and you can find it there. It's our recommended reading list. Oh, I see. You're going to say night to her.
It's because I said night.
I said night, too.
Them army guys.
Mm-hmm. And so that is going to happen. And then the next thing that's going to happen is a pizza. A pizza oven made from cob. That's the very first thing I'm going to do with a cob.
Mm-hmm.
Is I'm going to build a pizza oven.
That's what I want. Pizza oven.
Mm-hmm. You know, because one of the things that fueled Robin and I's decision to do this was, well, one, every time you turn around, there is this power outage going to happen. These brownouts are going to happen. These folks are suffering from a blackout. This Bush's baked beans are being recalled. This Ritz crackers are being recalled.
Mm-hmm.
Raccoons are carrying on with this temper, and kids are running around punching people in the face called the knockout game, and they're doing this, they're doing that, doing this, and doing that. And Robin and I talked throughout the years, and we said, when stuff really starts to get here,
yeah, we had a line of what things were going on.
We're gonna start pulling away.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they get here, we're locking the gate and let the rest of y'all destroy yourselves. Me and mine, we're going to be here and it's going to be okay. Well, we've kind of reached that point with society and culture that it's kind of time for us to say, we going to make that here.
It's funny that JJL says that about we have that good clay. A funny side story, we were talking about doing all this and trying to plan it all out. And Jason looked at Blaze and he's like, well, I mean, the dirt out there, where do we have a good spot where, because we have, one of the things that we fight with a lot here is more granite than we do clay, because we're so busy fighting the granite in the ground, and there's really not much to pay attention to as far as the clay goes. But over in our garden area, we don't see it as much because before we had it, it was an existing pig pen, so it had already been tilled and fertilized and composted. So Jason was asking Blaze, he was like, you were making some concrete a while back. Where did you find, what were you using?
Blaze was trying to he was trying to do the Roman style concrete.
Right.
And because sometimes my son, God love him, he can go from straight being, I want to choke him, to, oh look, he's being creative. Let's see what he can do. And he was like, we're making another pen over here for
the pigs.
For the ducks.
Oh, the ducks.
Then we still haven't put them in. And he said, well, I'm going to try and make my own concrete.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Cool. And so he never could get it to set. I don't think he used enough lime.
Mm-hmm. But
anyway, and I asked him, I said, hey,
when you
were trying to make your own concrete, did you use clay at all? Yeah. I said, well, where's a good spot for us to get it? Because I want to start trying to do cob. And he was like,
Really?
Really?
Are you asking me this?
Are you really asking me this? And I'm like, where's it at, Blaze? Hey, Dad, why don't you just look at the pig pen? And it was like, duh. The whole entire pig pen is nothing but clay.
Yeah, right now.
Yeah. And then I asked him about the sand.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to go down to our creek bed and get the sand.
Speaking of which, when was the last time you walked down to where the fodder is? We need to go check that tomorrow. I wonder what those... I bet we've got some squash out there.
We probably do have some squash out there that we need to dehydrate and get ready to go.
Yeah.
And so I got plenty of clay. The straw's gonna cost me about $3 a bale.
Mm-hmm.
And I got plenty of feet that are gonna love to stomp and kick and smash in the sand and the straw. Them two girls are gonna have a heyday
Oh yeah.
on it.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're gonna get some fire bricks. I think I have some laying around here, but I don't think I'm gonna have any left over after
The smoker.
the smoker. So I'm gonna have to invest in straw, unless it takes me a while to get it, and we have our wheat, because we're gonna be.
Here, rewind.
We are. Okay, let me pause right there about the cob for a second, and let me switch gears over here. Robin and I have been talking about this, doing the whole off-grid thing for a while. And one of the things that we started researching is like, okay, one of our major goals is not getting any food from there. We like bread. We like pasta.
Mm-hmm.
How are we going to make this? And so we know we can grow winter wheat. Plus, we were also thinking about our animals. But, Robin, we went from wheat to millet to... What was the last one you found that we're going to do?
I can see the plant. What is it called?
Sorghum.
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 Sorghum. Yeah.
Robin found sorghum.
And sorghum around here, sorghum grows like crazy.
Mm-hmm. Now, the awesome thing about this plant, and we're over an hour. Oh, but wait a minute. We're still good. We still got like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
The wonderful thing about this plant is that it busts up into like a...
It almost looks like the bottom part almost looks like corn.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so funny because when it was growing, I was like, oh, it's baby corn. It's not going to make it. Like, because it wasn't. And it was starting to show that it was going to send a shoot up. And I was like, oh, man, the corn's not going to make it this year. And then when we would go by, we would see it. And it gets this huge grain head on it. Like, massive. Like a big
It's
frond.
like
I mean, they're huge.
Yeah.
And yes, it is broom corn. That's right. They call it broom corn. But that's the thing is that. But here's the kicker: from what I'm reading or seeing, the bottom part of it you can use to make a syrup, molasses-ish kind of thing, and then the grain part you can actually use for grain.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it does. It looks like baby corn, and at one point, I was driving around. I had to go to a different part of the state to go do some stuff for work. And I was driving by this cornfield, and the cornfield was super high. And then I went to another one, and it was super small. And I wanted to take a picture of it to be like, because I like pictures to tell stories. And I was like, don't you ever feel like the small corn stalk looking up at all the really big ones? Like... But then I realized later, it wasn't corn, it was sorghum.
And so there's multiple uses for this plant.
Which is right up our alley.
Which is perfect
for us.
Mm-hmm.
So we're looking into, so we're looking into that because we're going to have sorghum syrup that we will be able to make. But then we'll also be able to take the fronds, the top part of them, and harvest the grain. And do, use the grain to be able to make flour and things like that. So
we will be planting some sugarcane. We're also going to do the winter wheat. I feel like
and that's two things that grow, and we know that they grow really well around here because all the farmers around us grow them. So we know that there's stuff that's indigenous to, that'll work really good in our area. We should not have a problem struggling with growing those two crops because they flourish all around us. So
and so we're going to do that. So then if the pizza oven gets pushed back past the winter wheat harvest, then we'll have the wheat straw to be able to put into the cob.
Yeah. And that may just be part of the plan. We may just have to just say, okay, we're just going to have to wait until, And that would be okay.
Yeah.
You know, it wouldn't hurt anything.
Yep.
So.
And so we're going to be introducing a lot of raised beds this fall and next spring and summer.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are going to get some intense gardening stuff with us. We're going to be starting an orchard. You guys are going to get that. I mean, we're basically using some things. Like, we've got some fruit trees that are scattered throughout our property that were here before us. But now we are going to make dedicated areas.
Mm-hmm.
An orchard.
Mm-hmm.
We got our, like, we started this year with the soft fruit.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have a soft fruit area. and we're going to have these dedicated areas that we're going to have to keep up and maintain.
Right.
And that means we're going to have to keep that party in the soil.
Right.
And so one of the things that we're going to have to build is a composting toilet area.
Mm-hmm.
Because we need the compost.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have chickens and pigs
Mm-hmm.
and you're trying not to have to buy feed,
Yeah.
you know, you kind of got to balance stuff to where some stuff's just, everything just can't go in the compost
Right.
bin.
Well, that was one thing, you know, we were looking today. We had all of these corn stalks. And at first I was like, you know, we're really big about not wanting to waste stuff. Like, it breaks our hearts when we have to waste something. And that's one of the reasons why we have always kept pigs, because then we can salvage some of it and be like, well, now we don't have to feed, you know, we don't have to do anything else with them. And the thing is that even with like these corn stalks, we had a couple of corn stalks that from all the wind and the rain that we had, they didn't produce anything except for a stalk. But that still does us good, because now we'll be able to chop that up and be able to use it for our cows and stuff. So
So we're going to get it chopped up, bagged up while it's still green.
Mm-hmm.
And so that way we can take it out there this winter and give it to the cows.
I think we have to do a little bit of research on silage, but if I'm not mistaken, I think they keep them out in like almost like a compost bin. If you remember when we were first thinking about dairy?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they just keep it covered
And then they
up.
keep covering it up. So it may be something that we,
Yeah.
no. No.
And so we're going to be documenting our progress through. Now, a lot of it may be documented at first via on our website or with the Big Bear Friends, the membership group. And so we're going to be documenting it. We're going to be doing our best to put more and more videos out, and videos related to it if we can. And we're gonna tackle this thing head on. That's going to be our main focus, because we feel it's reached that point now.
Well, like Breakaway said, he said he feels like we're getting to the peak. Like we're getting to where it's just going to get to one, and then we're just going to go downhill.
Yep.
You know?
And it's going to be a downslide fast.
Yeah.
And so. If you missed any of my live streams this week, when I've been out in the garden harvesting, I've been talking about a concoction that I made with essential oils for insect repellent, mosquito repellent. Here it is. This is it. Right here.
A little bitty roller ball.
Put it in a roller ball. I was using it as a spray, but Robin's like, why don't you put it in a roller ball? And I was like, oh, I won't put it in a roller ball for. And then she showed me the wonders of the roller ball. And then I'm like, I want to put it in a roller ball. I like it in a roller ball. But for those of you that don't know, Robin and I have started to basically, it's helping support us here, add to our income, and to help us get the bills paid, for lack of a better term.
Right, to get the means to be able to do what we want to do.
We have started a membership group. Kind of like, I don't want to say Sam's, but
Kind of.
I don't really know how to describe it. But the basic enrollment fee, the bottom line one is $5. $5 a month gets you access to a private Facebook group where we'll be sharing recipes,
This one will be on there.
different tips, tricks. We may pop in there live every now and then and just do a private live stream in there. You can get different tiers, get you different things, and one of them is mystery boxes. You can get a mystery box each month, a small and a large one.
And I think the small box this month's probably going to have that in it. It won't be a mystery. What? I know.
With some of these boxes, you're gonna get a soap of the month, where Robin's trying different recipes, and you're gonna get a soap of the month.
That's what I'm doing tomorrow. This is the end of July,
yeah.
so.
You'll definitely get your money's worth and then some, I promise.
Mm-hmm.
So, all the different tiers, they're on the Big Bear Homestead page on Facebook, and it's in the Big Bear Homestead group. Email us if you want to join up.
Or have any questions.
Or if you have any questions about it, we'll answer them. We promise you. And look, and I'll put it to you this way. If you don't feel like if you sign up and you don't feel like you got your money's worth, you come to me, explain it why you don't feel like you're getting your money's worth, and I'll give you your money back. And you can keep anything, like if you sign up for one of the boxes, and you're like, this is not worth my money, I'll let you keep the stuff, and I'll give you your money back. Like the smallest box is like $15 a month, right? Isn't that $15 a month?
I think the mystery box is $25. I don't know. Anyway, it's on the pin.
It's on the thing.
It's on the pinned post. It's been like
a
week since we. But yeah, and yeah.
So if you don't feel like you're getting your money's worth, you come to me and tell me that, and we'll talk about it. And if after we're done talking, you still don't feel like you're getting your money's worth, I'll return your money. So you got absolutely no reason not to give it a go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So give it a month, give it a go, give it a try. Also, you guys come over, and Kitty's been posting it. We've also started a live stream on Twitch, and I've been starting to put videos up on Twitch because YouTube, for some reason, just wants to. And I don't know if it's just me or if I know Brad from Full Spectrum is feeling it. I know J-Null is feeling it, but it seems like everything that we put out, they're either ripping down or they will not monetize. And if they do monetize it, we're getting very limited ads that barely pay anything. So we're also going on Twitch, because Twitch gives us a lot more freedoms to be a lot more frank and to be able to do more educational tutorial videos on stuff that YouTube would take down, like how to skin a deer, how to process a hog, stuff like that YouTube will take down for graphic content. As of right now, Twitch is not.
Right.
So.
Now, I'm sure he's probably joking, but it brings up a good point. Calendar. Carol is still trying to do her fundraiser calendar. And
we've gotten 1 month.
Yeah,
sold.
We've only had 1 month.
We've only gotten 1 month for her calendar sponsored. The month of November is gone.
Yeah.
If you guys really want to help her out, please step up to sponsor. Because if we can't, we're going to have to return that money for the month of November, because there's no way that Robin and I can afford to get the calendars printed.
No, we can't. Mm-mm.
So, if you want details, Lone Star, go ahead and send us an email, and Robin will let you know, because we've got it written down somewhere, and I don't have it with us, but we've got it basically.
How much it would be.
How much it would be.
Right.
But, well, that's it. Don't forget, tomorrow, if you want to, on Sundays at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, we are doing a private Bible study. And the reason why I'm doing it privately is because I don't want any interruptions from trolls or just
people being ugly.
the private, this Bible study, right now we're studying the book of Revelations, and we did chapter 1 last Sunday. We're going to do chapter 2 this Sunday. And we, so if you want to participate in that, send us an email, and all you have to do is put Camelot in the
subject line. Yeah, make sure you do that.
Yeah.
Because then that way I can sort them all out and make a list.
Mm-hmm. Now, we're also getting ready to do the auction for Kitty. Man, you guys took off in Insomnia the other night when we brought it up and talked about it. I think we have a good amount of donations now, right?
I think so.
Yeah. So we're going to be shooting for this Wednesday. We're going to talk about it more, and this Wednesday evening. That's when we're going to shoot for it. We're going to do it. We're going to do it live. And we're going to have everything set up, be able to hook it up. I would like to try to get pictures of some of the items out there beforehand, get them posted in the group. I'm not promising I'm going to be able to.
What, the pictures?
Yeah.
We probably can.
Yeah, but I don't think we've gotten a lot of pictures from some.
I've got some, yeah.
Yeah. We're going to be shooting for about 7:30. And we're going to run until we're done with all the items. I'm not putting limits on each item. If there's 2 people fighting back and forth with it, I'm just going to
let it ride.
I'm going to sit over here and instigate. I'm going to be like, hey, Patrick, man, he was talking about your mama.
I'm going to pop some popcorn. I'm here for the comments.
Email, Windswept, email.
Yeah, email pictures.
And so we're going to be doing that. We got the Homesteaders of America conference right around the corner.
Yep.
Right around the corner. And it's October 11th, 12th, and 13th. The 11th is the hands-on classes. The 12th and the 13th is the conference.
Yep.
Now, all the classes there are good classes. But if you're debating the importance of any class, and I'm not taking anything away. See, predator control is the black sheep of homesteading. Predator control is like Voldemort. Nobody wants to talk about it until it's too late.
And they know it's there.
And they know it's there, and they know they're going to have it, but it's more fun to go learn about canning, or it's more fun to go learn about wool. And I'm thinking right now that I've got 3 people in my class as of right now, Amy told me. And I'm betting when I get there on the 11th, they're going to have some stories about how they lost a bunch. And they don't want to lose anymore. So don't be that person. Don't be that person that goes, oh, I shouldn't have took that wool class. I should have took Jason's class because now I ain't got no more chickens. I'm just picking. My class is going to be fun. It's going to be educational. You're going to walk out of my class with at least a book that's going to help you identify your predator, know what traps that you're going to need, and what to look for.
Right.
It's also going to talk about some of the deterrents.
Biology.
The biology. Stuff that you can use against him. Yep. That particular predator. Yep. If you pay for the full price of the class, then you're going to leave with the tools that you need.
Yeah.
So that way you'll have the book. You'll be able to go right in, grab your tool, go out there. So that way you only lose one chicken instead of your whole flock.
Right. Yeah.
So, well, have no fear because Robin and I are going to start holding classes here too. If you can't make the conference, this same class is going to be offered here on our homestead multiple times.
And believe it or not, when we start, Jason and I have talked a little bit about this, but we've even batted around the idea of, let's say that you signed up for the class and we did it, we ship you the box, you know, and try to do something online.
Yeah, we're looking we're looking into an old church that we used to go to down in Augusta. They had a guy who was able to do online classes.
Mm-hmm.
That once you paid, you got the link to the class. It wasn't through YouTube or anything. It was through something different.
Mm-hmm.
And it had a chat box in it and stuff. And but we're thinking about trying to set something up like that.
Yeah. For Vimeo.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's it. I couldn't remember the name.
Yeah.
But once I read it, that's it. And being able to set this up so then that way you can pay for the class, and if you want to buy all the traps and stuff, we can send it to you
Right.
with the booklet. And then you'll be able to, as I'm doing it with the trap, you'll be able to do it there at your place.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things that are also in the works.
Yeah.
Well, we're 4 minutes over. Deep South Homestead is on. If y'all want to go over there and check them out, feel free. If not,
Have a good night.
have a good night.
Oh.
Remember, be kind to one another. You don't know what that person could be going through. He may have lost a loved one. He may be financially strapped and going through a hard time. You don't know. But more than likely, he probably didn't mean to cut you off or say that ugly thing or mess up your order or anything like that. Remember to reuse, repurpose, recycle. Let's keep these things out of the landfill. Get in your county commissioner, your city commissioner's faces, or shoot, get yourself on that city council and encourage businesses to revitalize your downtowns.
Mm-hmm.
Start taking over some of these buildings that are just sitting there instead of building new ones and removing wildlife habitat. Well, you guys, we love you. Thanks for coming by, and we will see you guys next time.
Good night.
Good night.